nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The minutes of February 16th.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Potter, second by Commissioner Burrell. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. The agenda, I've got a couple things. I'll add them right away if that's okay with folks, and then I'll see what else we have. Lieutenant Derringer had an item, federal equitable sharing document that is somewhat time sensitive. It's an annual document that needs to be signed that I presume, well, he'll explain it to us when he comes up, and we'll put him at 9:03. Also, if we could put for items for consideration, distracted driving, speaker under items for consideration is item for consideration number 1. Brian?
Mr. Chair, I know the board has talked in the past about possibly sending a letter to the Office of State Auditor regarding the current audit and the fact that we're being sued by the state auditor. And I'd like to discuss that just briefly, and that can be done on the in the open meeting. I wonder if we could put it under Bob's part of the agenda, just at the front end. It should take 2 minutes.
So it'll be Bob's number 3, state audit letter. Mike, I think you had something?
Yes, Mr. Chair. It can be under items for consideration. This is a capital report, a legislative session outlook, Monday, February 29th. I'd like authorization to attend that. It's a what to do with the $1.9 billion surplus, budget surplus and transportation. Since I won't be here for the legislative kickoff AMC, I would like to go to this. And this has a panel of the senators and representatives, which will be good. It's Monday, February 29th, 8 to 9. 9 to 10:30 is the program down in St. Paul.
Okay, that'll be item 2. Lee, I think you had an item?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I would like to add the Wright County Courts remodeling feasibility study RFP interviews. Put that under items for consideration.
Okay, number 3, items for consideration, and I think we've got everybody's. Anybody have anything we didn't get? Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda with the 5 additions?
So moved.
I will second that.
Motion by Potter, second by Delight. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Okay. Second. Motion by Commissioner Delight and second by Commissioner Burrell to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Lieutenant Derringer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Board, for adding me to the agenda. I'm just looking for a signature from the head of the governing body for the annual equitable sharing agreement that we submit to the feds. What this is essentially is if we work a case, typically for us it's through the DEA, and we work a case with them, and there is a forfeiture that turns into a seizure. We submit the proper paperwork, and they return money back to us. It's a sharing agreement. Last year, we received in 2015, we received $7,688.63, which was used for the purchase of a new vehicle for us. So I'm just looking for a signature with this for this document.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Delight and second by Commissioner Hewsome. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Board. The 2 items on the agenda before the addition are the City of Montrose requesting to take 2 of the forfeited properties. Brian drafted the resolutions in front of you. He's here. If you want him to walk you through those.
Good morning again. Both of these are what we refer to as common interest communities, or where there's either a townhome association or a homeowners association. And in both cases, the developer failed to deed common area to the homeowners association or townhome association, and so they eventually went tax forfeit. The first one is, I think it's the first one you have listed, Ridgemont Townhome Association. We have, it's a very small development. There's, I believe, 5 or 6 townhomes along Garfield Avenue, and the lot in back of it is common area, and it's outlined in blue there, that should have been deeded to the Townhome Association. And they have made a request to acquire this from the state of Minnesota.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Dryden.
So this will end up back in the tax rolls, and that association will have to pay the taxes on it?
What the assessor's office normally does is, if it's clear that it's common area, they split the value among the five or six townhomes, and likely it won't be issued a tax statement for that particular parcel, but the value is accounted for, in the tax statements that go to the other residents.
Like a 1/6 undivided interest in,
Well,
It's worth 20 grand, everybody's value's gonna go up $4,000 to
Correct.
compensate for it.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. I'll move forward that resolution.
I'll second.
Motion by Burrell, second by Potter. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Roll call vote.
Aye.
Roll call vote. Commissioner Houston?
Aye.
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 Aye. Resolution carries unanimous.
The second one is an even more common example, and that is, this one is called Rock Brook Townhomes. Here, basically, everything except the townhomes themselves was Lot 19, Block 1, so it would include the street that runs through the townhome area and the backyards, basically, and the driveways, everything else was one tax parcel. Again, it did not get conveyed from the developer to the Townhome Association, and they have requested conveyance of that. And again, the way Tony's office deals with it is they do divide up the value amongst the various townhome units.
Mr. Chair, I'll move forward the request for the resolution for the Rockbrook Townhome Association as well.
I'll second it.
Motion by Commissioner Burrell, second by Commissioner Delyden. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Commissioner Burrell?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
The resolution carries unanimous.
And, Mr. Chair, the item that I asked to have added on, the board is aware that with this litigation that we have involving the Office of State Auditor, and the fact that the State Auditor is doing our 2015 audit, there is at least the appearance of a possible conflict of interest. And I've had some communication with Scott Anderson, the attorney that the board has retained to represent Wright County, and he indicated that he thought it was a good idea to at least state our intentions, or our concern, I guess would be the best way to put it, about that, and whether or not it could affect our bond rating during any financing that we might do during 2016 or 17. And because we're in litigation, our office can't communicate directly with Rebecca Otto. So I guess I would encourage the board that if you want to go that direction, either have the board issue a letter signed by the chair, or perhaps have it come from Auditor Treasurer Hevola. So just wanted to throw that out there this morning.
Mr. Chair?
Chris?
Brian, what would be your recommendation? Would it be best coming from the board, or would it be best coming from our auditor's office?
Mr. Chair and Commissioner Hewsome, I know Becker County sent a letter, I think, late last week, and theirs came from the chair of their board. I don't know that it makes a difference.
All right.
I think it's really up to you.
Now, having said that, I don't think the response they got from the state was anything spectacular, so maybe we should mix it up.
Brian, I have a question too, though. So would we include in the audit that we would like to have a talk, because the people that we had out here that we did our initial interviews seemed so professional. I couldn't imagine that their work would be tainted by this. But I think it's good to have a little dialogue to make sure. I would like to hear them say that, I would like to have, in the letter, to invite them to a quick meeting to clear the air, kind of. Would that be appropriate?
You can certainly ask. I mean, we can't force them to meet.
No.
But we could certainly ask.
You're talking about State Auditor Otto herself?
No, the people that we had out for the pre-audit interview with the board. I'd like to just hear from them that this is going to be above boards and that their work would be no way tainted by the lawsuit. I want to hear it from them, I guess. I don't think that's too much to ask for.
Well, you want to hear that from the field staff, or you want to hear that from management?
I guess maybe be both.
Well, yeah, my guess is, we can set up that sort of, quite frankly, I'd rather have a meeting with the state auditor. Now, I don't know that she would meet with us, but,
Right.
if we were going to meet, I guess I would prefer to meet with her.
Yeah,
But, as you mentioned, the field staff came out here, and, I think we could have that meeting, and I think the meeting would take 30 seconds, they'd say, look, we're going to do this professionally, and that's the way, and
I would just like to hear it from them, because our bond rating possibly is in jeopardy here if we had any kind of a finding or even a subnote that we're parties to a lawsuit. I'm worried about that because we do have bonding things that are potentially coming up here, and even a slightest increase in a bond, we're talking millions of dollars.
Well, certainly tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands.
Yeah. Well, depends on how big the bond is.
Yeah,
too.
well, exactly right.
Yeah, but would sending a letter solve that issue?
Well, I think it would show
Mr.
our
Chair,
concern, I
and
guess.
Commissioner Delighten, based on the response that Becker County got, I don't know that it would change the fact that the OSA is doing the 2015 audit, but I think it's still good for us to put our position out there and our concern.
I think it's fair to
Exactly.
say that the letter we get will probably be identical to the one that Becker County got, except that it's going to have Wright County's name on the top of it. And besides that, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't change, they may not change a single word, because they're going to want to show that, look, we're treating them both exactly identical.
That's what
We
I
gave them the
understand.
exact same letter to a similar response.
Yep.
Well, if we ask to meet with them in person, though.
Well, then they'll have to
They
change the
might have
letter
to
up
tweak it.
because we
They might have to
asked
tweak
for
it
a little bit
bit.
different, yeah.
And
That's I would like to meet with them, I really would. I'd like to hear them say that, now maybe they'll send it back in a letter or whatever, I guess, that's their prerogative too, but
Mr. Chair, Brian, is there value in that, given that there's a lawsuit pending? It's nice to have that communication, and I don't think that the field staff have anything to do with the lawsuit, per se. I mean, they're party to it because they work for the state auditor, but,
They're probably frustrated with the state auditor too.
so,
Perhaps.
I think that when we send this letter, I agree that I believe that we need to send a letter similar to the one, Becker County sent, and maybe add at the end that we would appreciate a face-to-face meeting with the state auditor.
Because, Chris, I would like to ask them, because if they had any direction at all from Becky Otto, from the head up, down, are they getting any kind of direction to be especially tough or anything like that? I want to make sure that communication never took place, and I'd like to,
Mr. Chair.
rather than in a letter, I'd like to see them talk,
Commissioner Potter.
Yes, I agree with Brian, and we should send a letter and indicate our concerns about the bond consequence or potential consequence to us as far as the field staff. When we met them, they seem above board, and they have to adhere to a principle and a standard with being a CPA. They can't go against that, even if their boss wants to. They can't, because they will be out. When you're a CPA, it's a little different animal than just being the state auditor, because she is not a CPA. The staff here, I don't think is going to be, they're still going to do it according to that standard, the GASB standard. They're still going to do the standard, period. And if she tells them to deviate from that, they're going to respectfully recline to do
Well, Mike,
that.
and I agree with you, I don't dispute that at all, but I would like to see if there was direction given them, that, you know, to.
And my
I
answer, they
think that's
probably
a
wouldn't
fair-
answer that if it was
They-
given to
they
them.
may
No,
not
I
be able
think
to
they
answer
would,
that.
I think they would be honest, you know, and I think that's a fair, I think it's a fair question.
Okay, we've kind of talked about sending the same letter as Becker, asking for a meeting with either potentially the field staff or asking for one with Auditor Otto. What do folks want to do here?
And the bond, the potential.
Oh, the question of the consequences relative to the bond.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we send the letter, signed by the board chair, stating our concerns regarding our bond,
Impact.
our bond impact.
Okay.
Request.
Well, one, the conflict of interest and the bond
Right.
impact.
Yeah.
Okay,
Concerning our conflict of interest and our bonding impact.
okay. We've got a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Mr.
Second
Chair,
by Commissioner Newsom.
I would vote,
Any discussion?
I would vote for it if it would involve, I do think we should ask for a meeting with the same people that we had out before to see if there's, you know, any direction coming down from the top. So, I don't think that's unreasonable.
No, it's not. I'm just concerned about poking the bear.
Oh, but I think,
I'm just concerned about, I'm gonna hold those people to a higher standard than the commissioner.
so-
And I don't feel it's gonna be a problem, and then we'll have that discussion with them again.
Bob, did you have something to add?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, do you want me to help you draft that, or do you?
Well, why don't the two, I presume you can probably use Becker's as a template and specialize it for Wright County and include the part about the audit impact, or not, excuse me,
Bond.
the bond impact as well. If I have any suggestions after seeing it, I'll tell you, or else I'll just sign it.
Okay. I'll work with Lee, we'll get it so it come on your letterhead then, to the
Sounds
state
good.
auditors.
Charlie?
I just want to add, if we don't change it, I will vote against it, just because, for the fact that I believe this whole thing is, there's a political motive to it.